Welcome to our Wednesday episode. Usually we do Media Moguls, but we've started branching out from our normal show theme base to include exchanges and wallets and different things like that to keep the people up to date with what's going on in the spaces that we're kind of delving into. So Corey had some personal things coming up, but lucky we have Bonds here. He's going to be our special co-host to get the lowdown from Adrian. You might know Adrian from past episodes of this show and all the amazing things that they were doing with play to earn games over on Wombat Womplay and the wallet over on Wombat, which was generally started on EOS, branched out into Telos. You guys then made the move to Ethereum. And now, finally, after all this time, which hasn't really been that long, but after all this time, I guess about a week or two ago, you guys released the news that you were actually moving over to Wax. So congratulations on that. That's definitely super exciting. Bonds is down there, typing to the Wax god saying thank you right now. I think that's what's going on. But yeah, welcome, Adrian. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, and good to see you again, Jimmy, and great to meet you, Bonds.
Yeah, good to meet you, man. Glad to hear you're coming to Wax.
You guys have never met before. That's interesting. I had no idea.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but good to meet you, man. You guys have been doing great work for a long time. You guys were a godsend on EOS when just back in the day, obviously there wasn't an easy wallet solution. There was nothing like Wax. There's no Wax Cloud wallet. So of course people coming in to try to play prospectors were anybody who was new was having a hard time with the resource situation. So yeah, you guys were really a godsend and provided a great service, and you guys make a great product. So yeah, the community is lucky to have you guys.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, we basically we always wanted to do Wax, right? It's just that we're always kind of looking into like where is all the good content, and it actually happened that Wax was developing much quicker than EOS, obviously, since ADOS happened on EOS, right? Then a bunch of projects moved over, but then we had so many things on our plates that we kept postponing it somehow because we didn't. Right, we don't just want to add another blockchain. That's not what it is, right? It's about like providing a great service, offering free accounts, offering free resources, free CPU and net, right? So all these things, and so it's not just a thing that you do over a weekend. And that's why it took us a while, but we're actually super happy to be on Wax because there actually is so much great content on Wax, and it's fascinating how much kind of usage of Wax has been picking up in within Wombat within those 2 or 3 weeks that we've been live with it, right? So I really appreciate that everybody's like really happy, and yeah, we started that WAXpedition that you mentioned, Jimmy, where we want to kind of introduce Wax projects to our community. Because we've got over 1.2 million users that we acquired over the last 2.5 years, right? So it's always exciting to basically just be able to show new exciting projects to our community, and obviously Wax has a lot to offer. And like when I spoke to Corey a few months back, he said that, hey, we should actually do a show every day to kind of introduce all these projects, right? It's not like we're doing it every day now, but every other week is probably still plenty. So we've started doing this WAXpedition last week, and the first because of loyalty towards Corey, we started doing that with Blue DAC. So we're giving away a bunch of blue tokens. Actually, it's quite a bunch of blue tokens. So. Yeah, and we were happy to keep promoting other projects as well. So
yeah, you guys have got quite a list that's coming. I think like Prospectors is on the list. There's a few other ones. I'm just gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. But yeah, I like the fact that you guys came in and you just decided to do this WAXpedition where you're going to go around and you're going to, have users that are already using the Wombat wallet log in to these dApps and then basically get a share of some tokens or something like that, which I think is pretty cool that you guys are doing that. So, and you guys are going to give away 100K in wax for this adventure over the course of, what is it, a month, I think?
Oh, I think it's going to last longer because there's so many projects, simply, right? So we've had a bunch of people dropping in some nice gifts. I mean, like the blue tokens. So anyone participating in the blue giveaway will receive $5 worth of blue. That was Corey's idea, so we wanted to make it happen. We also have NFTs from various projects. There's going to be prospector stuff. There's going to be so we're working on something with I can't even tell for sure because I don't know the order, but we're still kind of in a lot of discussions. So also kind of with our planet, we would like to do something, right? We're doing something with prospectors. We're in discussions with like NFT blocks. We're in discussions with all kinds of wax projects. So we would basically like to do them all and basically have our users discover all of them, because it's it's just we like our community has been waiting for a lot more content, but I also feel like the wax community has kind of been waiting for another wallet to come up and actually offer a service outside of just having a cloud wallet. And I mean, Anchor hasn't been available on Android for a long time, right? So I think that we found this spot where actually a lot of people wanted this. So we've already had, I don't even know the number, but I think it's been over 10,000 Wax accounts created within the first few weeks, right? A lot more imported. So we also see quite a bunch of Wax Cloud Wallet accounts being imported. So that's it's been more activity on Wax than I had thought originally. So maybe I personally underestimated this and the dynamics within the Wax community, but like I said, we're happy to be here now, and hope to kind of discover all the things. And it's actually fascinating because I only started really like playing those games and dealing with those dApps on Wax since we started into the integration, and I found out about like what our planet and what Alien Worlds and what Farmers World do, right? And I was like, hey, that stuff is real fun. It's really cool. So I was positively surprised. I mean, I obviously knew Wax. I obviously knew prospectors from EOS, right? But I'm still not sure what the difference is between the Wax land and the EOS land. But I knew prospectors, but I didn't know all the other things.
Same game,
okay.
different server, different world. Of course, the world on Wax, they added a little spin to it. It's the far up north, so it's cold. So that's the land covered in snow. But looking at all white isn't as nearly as pleasing to the eye. So of course, there's the new Grand Land is coming. Got to get in the shameless plug for the Grand Land. It's only a week away now. So that's going to be like the monster land, kind of like the one land to rule them all.
Is that the one that's connected with the? Is that the one that's connected with the actual, like, because you guys just rolled out the land sale, right? Like not so long ago.
So that's the land. That's the land I'm talking about. So that land, well, it's not going to be connected to anything at the beginning because it's going to be totally like raw. It's a gigantic game map with nothing on it, right? So unlike even the other worlds where there was like auctions for tools and buildings and all of that, there's literally none of that. So even just getting the first tool shop up is going to take a long time. So it's one thing that I kind of keep reiterating to people, like this is like really like it's the long game. It's literally starting from scratch. This is going to be the kind of like that is the Grand Land, right? Like this is kind of like the land that's gonna go on for years, I think. So it's like, but truly, it's gonna be it's gonna be like for people who really want to like start from scratch and build a world from nothing. Like so, at the beginning, it's definitely gonna be slow. Like, but there's a ton of opportunity even in that, right? Because people are gonna be like rushing. And so as a, you know, anytime that people want to like do things faster, they're willing to pay, right? So it's like there's going to be people making good money just like collecting materials off the ground and selling to them to people who want to like craft tools by hand. So at the beginning, all the tools are going to be crafted by hand. There's going to be no like finished materials, no like, you know, what we refer to as like materials. So it's like the boards and like, you know, things like nails and all these things. So people are going to be like crafting those things from scratch until we make like the first buildings. And then, you know, from there, of course, the markets will start to open up and there'll start to be more tools and prices will come down and whatever. But at the beginning, there's still a ton of opportunity too. So, but yeah, the land's going to start off with literally nothing on it. And that's the grand land that we've been selling land for. There's actually an auction right now that's for like, you know, wagons and horses. So it's like, because of course those don't just like appear in the game. There's no way to like craft those items from scratch. So yeah, that's gonna help for people to like to be able to gather you know, materials from the free plots that are on the far outskirts. So there's still going to be free plots, but the big change with this iteration is that all the lands are NFTs. So there's no more rent. So there's no more having to factor that in. Like there's no more like risk of like losing your property because you didn't log in for a month and you forgot to pay your rent. You basically,
I like that aspect a lot, actually.
yeah.
So.
It's a bit.
Can you guys just roll back the start date for, I don't know, 25 years? Because that's about how busy I am. So like it's like, but Adrian brought up a good point. Like Bonds, yourself too, right? Like you're involved with like a bunch of, you know, a few different projects, and it's like sometimes in this space, it's even hard to play our own games, right? It's even hard to use our own stuff.
I literally lost my land. Like because I didn't have time and I kind of just fell off with it. And that's I'm actually really excited to kind of get back into it. It's really been like, I don't know, I feel like it's been a year or 2 years since I've really like dug in and had a business going. And that's kind of like one thing I really enjoy is that like, or that I really like about how they made it this time is where like if I build a shop, I know that I can log in a year and my shop will still be sitting there and I can crank up the workers and get them doing something and make some more whatever I'm making and put them in my shop and just let it sell, you know.
So are these NFTs, is this a Wax World or is this an EOS World?
Yeah, it's on Wax.
Okay. So can you tell us, I don't know if it's too early, but can you tell us what the, you know, quote unquote task is for the Wombat Wax wallet and the connection to prospectors? Because, you know, as you could see, it said down here, I think this is probably true, next stop prospectors on Wax.
Yeah, well, that's
so we know what's going to happen with the blue, but what's going to happen with the Wax if we're allowed to speak about that?
Well, as far as like, it's obviously a great integration for us because obviously, as Adrian was saying, they have, which is actually really surprising me. Congratulations on that, Adrian. I didn't know you guys had 1.2 million people using that wallet. That's incredible. That's like, that makes it a more used wallet than most of the wallets out there. Right. It's really impressive. So yeah, with that 1.2 million people, that brings a lot of users. So I think there's a lot of people who, once they get used to using a wallet, they maybe are more likely to stick with that wallet. That's just me speculating, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. So I think that maybe some people who are used to using it will then maybe once they see it's integrated in Wax, they'll continue using the same wallet. And just with the brand, you know, comes users. So, and I think a lot of people, you know, like we were saying earlier with EOS, right? Like, it was an easy entry. It was almost like the, you know, just like an easy, like wallet, like to onboard people for EOS, you know? So a lot of those people, hopefully, that are, you know, loyal Wombat users will then, you know, maybe if they haven't tried prospectors yet, maybe they'll see that, they'll give it a shot since they already have the wallet and it's integrated and it's easy and it is free to play and there is free plots. They're all the way on the outside of the land. But so basically it's a, you know, for anybody who doesn't know, it is a free to play game. Of course, you're somewhat limited, but you theoretically could grind your way up and earn yourself the worker certificate and the various things that allow you to move forward in the game and get more, you know, more time, get your workers for hours, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to go too far into the weeds with it, but basically, yeah, there's free plots, which means nobody owns them, which means that like whatever resources are on those plots, you can just go to them and pick up those materials and sell them. So if you're like a Wombat user and you know you don't own any land, or you know maybe you haven't made any investment in prospectors, but you want to go try it out, you could send your worker out to the outskirts and you could you know, pick up some stuff and then, you know, put it on your backpack and go sell it to somebody. So, and it's not going to be, it's not farmer's world. You're not going to be making 5 figures a day from doing that. But without any investment, and the thing is, it's really like it's like a game that involves some thought and some planning. And some people like those kind of games. Other people like games where you just kind of log on and click a button and collect. They want to just click a button and collect money. And other people like games that involve a little bit more planning and a little bit more like kind of longer term thinking, kind of planning for the future and planning out several moves ahead, and so, and then, maybe they find they like it and they want to, maybe grab a plot. I think what's going to happen is and how it stands now is, all the lands cost the same amount of money, right? But of course, once the game launches, not all lands are created equal, right? So some people are essentially going to be like literally like kind of striking a gold mine, right? Like some people are going to go to their plot and find that it's has 100,000 PGL tokens in it, which is something like I don't even know, maybe $20,000, $10,000, $20,000. I don't even know, but it's going to be a lot. I don't know the current price of PGL, but it's going to have a lot of gold in it, right? And then and other people are going to find that they have a plot full of trees, and those trees all have a value, and it's up to the market to determine that value. And some people are going to find that their plot has rocks or has whatever, right? And so it's kind of going to be like roll with what you got, and you're going to whatever plot you have, maybe you're going to find yourself doing that sort of business. But also, I have a feeling that there's going to be people that have plots that they're not into that building that sort of business, and they're going to put those plots up for sale. So I think that there's going to be a lot of entry point for people coming in later too. I feel like there'll be a turnover for plots, and of course every plot is kind of a good plot, because even if the plot has no resources on it, you could basically build a building there, which of course there's not going to be many plots without any kind of resources. Almost all the plots have some type of resource. So whether it's like in-ground resources or above ground resources, there's something there, some sort of business that you can create off those resources, because people need every single resource of the game is totally needed for some other part of the game, and it all works together. So whether you have a plot full of rocks or a plot full of with iron ore in the ground or trees or gold, they all have a value, and they're all totally needed in the game. And so yeah, it'll be fun to see it play out. This is the first time it's played out like this, as you know, Corey. Excuse me, Jimmy. As you remember, we played with that sort of Boomtown game, and it was like we had to run around, and everyone was trying to find the gold pots, and it was a big race. And it's going to be.
I mean, it might have helped if we weren't on the far nether corners of the map. I wonder who did that. Maybe the guy that wasn't here, that isn't here, decided, oh, I'm going to get this plot way out here. That we were like. We needed a Stargate basically to get anything.
Yeah, I mean, we were really unorganized, and we were also late to the game next week. But honestly, those Boomtown games were kind of experiments as part of the iteration of the game. And it was hard. I know I didn't come out with a profit. It was like that whole structure of having to rush and try to do stuff. I think it was like a fun little experiment, but I really think this is a completely different deal. Just in case anybody's kind of anybody played the Boomtowns, and it's just a completely different deal. There's no time limit, first of all, which is completely different. But yeah, just the whole aspect of owning the plot and owning it forever is just such a fundamental difference to the game, because like I said, you can play at your own pace. Not everyone wants to have to log in every day. I mean, some people like to log in all day every day and click buttons. Some people want to get their guys working, and maybe you can't log in, and you check it out the next day, and you put your guys back to work, and you get in a routine of when you want to log on and put your guys to work. And I think that's what's kind of cool about it is let everybody play at their own pace. If people want to grind it out and be logging on 5 times a day or however many times a day, let them do that, and that's awesome. Or
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it snowing in your house, man?
It was, dude. It was so
there's snow in the background. Is it is this a new?
No, I have my door open, and it is kind of blowing the wind in. I don't think it's actually. It was frost. Okay. Everything was covered in frost.
I wondered maybe if you
we're sunlight. You see how bright it. So it's it's coming through my door. I opened the door so it would be cool in here, and I think it's kind of the stuff blowing in. And
I want to take a step back for a minute.
Well, one thing
there's a couple things.
One thing I gotta say while we're just talking about different things, I envy you for that NFT NYC hoodie. I was supposed to go there, and I was supposed to be a speaker, but I couldn't because of the travel ban.
Oh man!
So I was looking forward to being there so much. Sorry, Jimmy. I had to say
no,
that.
no,
I've been looking at that NFT NYC.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you got there, dude. And it's too bad you couldn't have went there because yeah, like having people from like our ecosystem, EOSIO, Wax, etc., like was really cool. In fact, and I was telling a bunch of people this, that when I was at the event, like it was so cool to at least see a small handful of us there representing, because like I was at the one 2 years ago, and I was the only one in the building that even like ever heard of Wax. And I've told the story a couple of times, but it was like I was trying to pitch Wax to people, and this is when Wax was like, prospectors are just like, GPK hadn't even launched yet, and I was telling people, I'm like, you guys, Tops is coming to Wax, it's gonna be a big deal, like, and everyone was like rolling their eyes at me, and they were like, wait, what? It's an EOSIO chain, like it was all Ethereum guys. It was like, I don't think there was no such thing as like Flow blockchain, but the Dapper Labs guys were there, and CryptoKitties was still like the hot topic, and it was like, it was just all Ethereum guys, and I was like, Gas, I get it, Ethereum's cool and all, but like, like there's gonna be a future. And back in those days too, it was obviously a long time for the world to kind of wake up to what we're doing here. And even, it's crazy because like even at this last event just a week ago, like you would not believe, like we are so early. Like I keep stressing this to people. They don't even understand. I'm at an actual NFT event. Like I'm in NFT New York City, right? I'm at the NFT like events, and I'm telling people like, yeah, we build on Wax, and they're like, well, what's Wax? And I was like, yo, you don't know what Wax is? There's no transaction fee, right? And people are like, no transaction fee. How can that even be possible? Like that doesn't make sense. How is the network secure? And so now I find myself like explaining like proof of stake, like how validators actually get paid through inflate. Like I'm literally having to like start from square one. And I'm like, this is at an event where I'm not like talking to normies. I'm not like talking to my friends who don't know about crypto. I'm talking to people who like flip 6-figure NFTs on Ethereum all day and think that they're like, NFT like gurus, and they're like, they never heard of Wax. They don't understand how proof of stake works. They don't understand how it's possible that you can send an NFT with no fee. And their immediate thought was like, oh, it's got to be some kind of scam, or the network isn't secure somehow. And it's like, dude, like, and it really made me realize like, wow, we're really that early. And then I realized like, because over these last couple of years, it's like, it was really frustrating, to be like, hey, we got this awesome ecosystem, and you see all these other engine and all these other Ethereum tokens like mooning, and everybody's like just happy to pay gas and go on their way, and it's kind of frustrating to be like, why aren't these people paying any attention to us? And I just realized it's because the whole space was just so small, and those guys are in such a bubble, and they don't care about Wax because they're all making tons of money because they were all in Ethereum when it was whatever. And so now like you have all these kind of new people that are just showing up, and they don't have the like biases and the preconceived notions that like NFTs have to be on Ethereum for them to be real or something like that. And then you have like, when you have real people that come in and they have the choice between like, oh, I can pay $120 to do this to send this or like do any transaction on Ethereum, or I could literally do it for free. Like they don't have all the like bag bias and the tribalism stuff.
Well, and I think there will be a good market at some point on Solana and on Terra, but still, even then, Wax is eons ahead of them, right?
Yeah.
Far.
But I also think that the fact that Solana and Avalanche and the likes are having a lot of success with NFTs as well, it's actually more like helping Wax and the EOSIO ecosystem in terms of NFTs, because people, that's exactly what you said, Bonds, right? People actually are starting to realize, hey, Ethereum and EVM isn't the only platform where you can actually have NFTs like securely, and hey, actually it can be so much easier and so much cheaper and so much faster, right? So that's actually very fascinating. It's not like I hate EVM or whatever, right? But I like doing transactions on Solana is already so much better, right? But it's still not as good as EOSIO.
It's not as good.
It's so weird.
You're 100% right though too, because now that like it's the first, and it's so funny that it took this long, but you're exactly right. You nailed it, because it's that first barrier broken down for the F people to realize like, oh, we're still EVM, so we're still using Ethereum, but we can somehow do it now with this micro fee, right? So now they're finally realizing like, oh my God, they think it's like the greatest thing on earth because now they can use Ethereum like cheaper, right? So now they realize like, but then we've all known for 2 years, but like you could actually use an L1 that actually has, not only is it cheaper, it could be literally free. So like once you break down that first wall and they open their mind to realize like, wait, there's actually other chains. Once you realize that it can be done in a different way, then it opens up the whole Pandora's box. So wait a minute, if you can do it a different way, even a micro fee is still a fee, right? So it's like, if you have to do like, and I just said this on Twitter, like someone was like, oh man, it's so cheap, it's only 0.03 cents, whatever it was. I don't even remember how much it cost, but it was some really small micro fee. But yeah, micro fees are really awesome, and it's the same thing with like I've been really diving deep the last year into Terra ecosystem, right? And I love Terra, and they just finally got NFT, got like marketplaces. They're really well done. Like it really hit the scene hard. Like the community was so like ready for it that like the first few launches just went berserk, and there's a really strong, vibrant community that really backs these NFT projects, and it's been really fun to see, and still though I love Terra because it's like you have this small fee, but it's like it's still a fee, and I keep telling people
seems like a lot of those people are old EOS people that we knew, which is ironic.
But even a small fee is still a fee, and it's like, yeah, that's fine if you're sending around like an NFT, especially if you're doing anything with value like DeFi. There's great deep, Terra is amazing, right? You can literally put stable coins in a wallet and be collecting 20% on them, right? But if you're talking about play to earn, which is like, and we've all been, it's funny because we've all known this was going to happen for like 2 years. We've been like, guys, when it was like DeFi summer, like 2 years ago, it was like, we were like, okay, play to earn got next, metaverse got next. And it was like, we've been saying this now, finally to watch it actually like unfolding and happening is crazy. Cause it's like, now it's like the flood is open and the whole world knows like, oh, there's actually games that you can play. And it's like, if you're doing like transactions all day long, every day, and then over the course of, maybe you're going to be playing these games for years, like microtransactions will add up. And it's like, even if it's super small, if all you're doing is taking a sword out or like giving a sword or picking a sword up off the ground, I don't want to pay 0.003 cents to pick up a sword or whatever it is. If that action is actually on, like it needs to be free.
I mean, right. I think that would be fine for most people because it would actually take a long time to accumulate to such an extent, right? But then with many blockchains like on Solana, you think that there's like this super tiny transaction fee, but then you have to pay for the data and you have to create like these accounts on Solana, right? Which is much more expensive, and then you end up paying $4 if you want to sell your Solana NFT, right? And these kinds of things. But then again, one thing that has been bothering me specifically with regards to the EOSIO ecosystem is that on Solana, but also on Avalanche and also on Terra, obviously, these tokens have been like mooning, right? They've been like going from, I don't know, 50 cents to $40 with Terra,
right?
From $2 to $250 with Sol, right? And so obviously these people who have been in these ecosystems early on, they now have a lot of money to spend, right? A lot of money. And that's just not the case with like EOS, for instance. And to a certain extent,
Wax doubled, I mean, almost, right? So like it's on its way.
Wax doubled since we started, since we launched on Wax.
Yeah, I know.
That's a correlation.
That's every project. No, I think a lot of things actually, like I think you probably did have something to do with it. I also think that these NFT conferences had something to do with it. I think there was a little bit of exposure with the Miami crypto experience, the New York and NFT thing. Like, I think that a lot of things have kind of been aligning for a long time. So I do want to take a step back though, because I want some people to understand a couple things. So, I'm not by any means am I knocking the Wax Cloud wallet, because that was great. Like back in the day, Bonds knows, like it was pretty much the first wallet to ever, allow a simple login to come up with it. But you guys did something really interesting with EOS that had never been done before. I don't think, when you guys came along, and you guys kind of did that with Wombat. You allowed users to have a simple social login to create an EOS account, which up until that point, like Bonds knows, anyone who is in the EOS ecosystem knows, like it was a pain in the ass just to get an account. You had to go here, you had to buy something, you had to transfer that file over here, then you had to take that file, you had to meld it with another file, like then you had to move it over here. Like it was a hassle. So you guys came in and you created these accounts. Now, one of the things that Wax Cloud Wallet doesn't do that you guys do is, I don't believe you can ever get your keys, at least at present, from the Wax Cloud Wallet. So once you log in with that social login, your keys it's a custodial wallet, right? Like you don't own your keys, right? But the Wombat wallet on EOS allows users to be able to A, retrieve your keys, and B, import your own keys. But I guess on Wax, it's a little bit more complicated than it was on some of these other platforms. I think I was reading that somewhere, but now I can't find it. So can you tell me, like, there was some Anchor integration that you talked about to import your keys that maybe I misunderstood?
No,
that.
that's actually a different thing, and the process to retrieve your keys for Wax is the same as for EOS, right? So you just have to pay. So for us, because we create those accounts for free, right? But if people actually want to access their private keys, they would have to pay like $2 to get them.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which is pretty much the cost that we pay to create the account, right? So we just want to make it really easy for people to have their account, right, and to start using dApps on Telos, on obviously Wax and EOS, right? So that should be super simple.
So they don't ever have to pay, but if they want to pay, they can. Right?
Well, the thing is that we don't have access to their private keys, right? Ever. Right. So the private key is on the device, so it's non-custodial at all times. But if you want to export it and have it in a different wallet or self custody it basically, then you would have to pay that fee. We would love to make that free. But you know the space, right? Anywhere where you can get something for free, people will do so. So
we'll exploit it, and they'll cost you a fortune trying to exploit it in any way possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what we're generally working on is giving that for free to loyal users, right? So for people who have been around and have been transacting with the wallet enough that we might make it free for them, or just auto enable that for them.
Well, yeah, because on EOS, you guys used to have this thing where I think if you did a certain number of games, or you were on there a certain amount of time, like for 3 or 4 months, then actually the keys would be released to you or something like that. You did that back in the day, right? I don't know.
No, we never did that. What we have is that we have the subscription where you get extra transactions, right? So we also pay for resources, and we have this $1 subscription, which we call Prime. And if you have Prime for a few months, I'm not sure whether it's 3 or 6 months, then you get kind of your key for free, right? That is one thing. But in general, like I said, we would like it's not like we're making money with this, right? We also don't want to make money with this, because blockchain should be accessible for free to everyone, right? And that's the thing. It's just that obviously it would make it very easy to be exploited if we made it entirely free. So that's the big problem here. But apart from that, it actually works entirely like on EOS. And with Wax Cloud Wallet, you're right that if you just get the free account from Wax Cloud Wallet, you can't export that key, but you can create more accounts with Wax Cloud Wallet, and those you have to pay for. I don't know how much it is. It's not much, right? It's like it's basically at cost, I believe. So it's about like 1 wax or so. So it's not much. And once you have that, you just you can export your key. You can have your key, or you basically have to put in your key yourself, right? So if you do that with Wax Cloud Wallet, this is an account that you can then import into Wombat as well, and start using with Wombat. Then there's the second thing with Anchor. Because some of the dApps out there, like Farmers World and originally Our Planet have an awesome Wombat login now, but originally it wasn't there, and we wanted to be compatible with as many dApps as we could. We said that we'll also do a Anchor compatible login, right? But that's just the kind of login and signing of transactions. So that I think that outside of Alien Worlds, you can use all the dApps with all the Wax dApps with Wombat now, either through the scatter login, which is kind of the standard one for us. Like everyone in the space knows that scatter hasn't been really developed for years now, and it's stale, right? And it's not a great protocol anymore. But it's been working, and a lot of dApps have been employing this. So that's why we offer this, and it's kind of a great UX from inside Wombat, right? Because you can open the dApp inside Wombat, and you'll be logged in. Like with many dApps, you'll be logged in automatically, which is nice, right? Anchor has a different approach, but it's also like it's just a different approach. It's also pretty great, because then you can actually scan a QR code on your desktop, and you can still log in to a desktop dApp through your mobile app, which is pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Anchor is great, and Bonds, like you had a point the other day, not so long ago, about Scatter. Like, yeah, it's not being developed, but there still are some things that you can do with Scatter that you aren't able to do with Anchor, and when it comes to signing various transactions and things like that. So, and like I think, yeah, you guys use the Scatter protocol. I think like Token Pocket still uses it. Like, there's quite a few mobile wallets that use it. I didn't actually check this. I should have, but you guys also have a browser, a browser login as well, like a Google Chrome extension for EOS. Does that also work with Wax? I probably should have checked it, but I didn't.
Yeah. It works with all the chains
Cool.
that we have. So the Chrome extension is actually very popular as well because there aren't many Chrome extensions for in general desktop solutions for dApps, right, in the EOS space. So that works. It basically works the same way, except for we don't have payments within the Chrome extension, right, because of the Google Chrome store. It doesn't allow for payments through it. So you can't pay for your private key. You would have to send a little bit of EOS or Wax to a specific account to unlock your key, for instance. But apart from that, it all works. And the cool thing is that with Wombat, you can transfer you have an automatic backup on one device, right? And you can restore it back up on any other device, and you'll basically just have the same account the same Wombat account with all your blockchain accounts, right? So you'll have your Wax account, your EOS account, your Telos and Ethereum account. There's going to be more support for more blockchains. And one thing that's been requested heavily is that we do multi accounts per chain, right? So that's something that we'll be working on next. I already promised that to a bunch of people because obviously I know that many people in the EOS and Wax space also have 5 or 10 or 20 accounts. So that's something that we'll definitely offer as well, because it's getting more and more important.
Yeah, and it's actually tough not to be able to have more than one account, like especially when you're dealing with NFTs and stuff like that, right? Like we give stuff away on this channel, like I know a lot of us have families that we've set up accounts for, kids or things with, and like so the inability to have more than one account, I think, is really big in this space.
I mean, you can always use multiple Google accounts to like create multiple Wombat accounts and have multiple EOS and Wax accounts in there as well, right? That's what people do, and it's not. I understand it's not as convenient, right? So that's why I say we are working on that. It's a bit of a change for us because we've been assuming kind of that there's always just one account. We wanted to make it really, really simple. But like I said, we'll
that's the thing, right? Like you can import your account from Anchor into Wombat. You could import it into all of your different kids' devices, different keys for different devices, right? Like it's really not that difficult. So,
and maybe one thing worth mentioning with Wombat accounts, because on Wax Cloud Wallet, you always get those weird random letter combinations .wam accounts, right? Which I find actually that always has made me sad with Wax Cloud Wallet. I totally agree that this has been an amazing product. And originally, you could actually, like 2 years back, I think you could still export your private keys from there, even if these were the free accounts. I'm pretty sure.
From the Wax Cloud Wallet, you've never been able to export them from.
You sure?
From there. Yeah, I'm positive.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
You're totally right. The names are absurd, and some of them are even worse than others. Like some of them are like letter dot,
right.
or some and it causes problems. Like there's like problems too with like I remember using like some of the markets. I can't remember which one, but it's like if you have, and of course when you start typing some of the fields, it automatically puts a capital letter, and then like it was automatically turning that into a dot or something. It was like I've literally lost items just trying to send a WAMs because of weird like things with the UI where like it auto changed to like.
I thought you couldn't send to an account that doesn't exist.
No, the problem is it will send. There's like every Wax Cloud wallet like exists. Like it's like
to
a .wam that like it will literally like just send it to a .wam that has nothing, that has like no history.
Yeah, okay. Fair
like
enough.
I looked at the account and then it shows like it just shows like nothing except for then the stuff I sent to it, and it's like it sucks when that happens because then it's like there's not even anybody to ask for it, but it's like there's
I should check some of my wallets that I don't use. Maybe I got some free gifts from Bonds. I don't even know about it.
Yeah, but that's something that I've never understood. Why you can't have your own account name there, right? Why does it have to be a .wam? Or even if it's a .wam, why can't I choose my 8-letter
Well, yeah,
account name, right?
I have my own account name, but it was imported from EOS, right? So
right,
that's
but
different.
not a dot wham, not a
Not
wham,
a dot wham,
right?
no.
And so I get what you're saying, Adrian. You're exactly right, because like for a new person coming, like give them the option, like they're already signing up with their email, give them an option to come up with 12 letters and just let assign the dot wham to that human readable name. Like that was one of the great things that EOSIO could, like Dan Lehrer,
Right.
like we, he was like, what's up with this long string of numbers and letters? We need human readable names. And then Wax comes along with this great solution. Hey, we can add more people and we can have their keys, like, essentially take care of the key management for them. But oh yeah, your name is .cwg.z.wham. And it's like, it's not much better than, like having to copy paste like some Ethereum address. But
yeah, the dots are horrible for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something that you can do with Wombat. You can basically just choose your 12-letter account name for Wax yourself. So because that makes it a bit more legible.
Well, speaking of Wax, I don't know if you know these guys. Oops, what happened there? These guys are cool.
What's
this? This is the drop bears plot. If you don't know the drop bears on Wax, they do some really cool stuff.
Oh wow,
so.
Cool! Wow.
Oh my goodness.
It's their plot. This is the General EOS plot because I lost build rights on the Uplifter Tower plot, so we've just been doing it here. But that's okay. We got a good crew here, so we'll just continue from where we left off last night. Let's put up some gratitudes. I don't think, yeah. Let's see. We'll get those done. So let's go with Adrian, Adrin.
So today, I think because the last few weeks and months have been really exciting for us, and like we've been seeing so much also recognition for what we've been doing. So I'm actually grateful to be in this space that is that's just moving so fast, and there's like a new adventure every day. It feels like each day is like a month in the old world, and it's just so many things happening. So I'm grateful to be in this space and to be in this situation to be able to connect with people like yourself, and have fun actually while working while doing awesome stuff.
There we go. Good. All right, got that one. Let's go here. Bonds, what are you grateful for today?
Today, I'm going to be grateful for the Wombat wallet and the team over there, since they're doing such a great job in helping onboard new people, and they've brought us a lot of users to some of the weekend games, and I know also they're working with I know you guys were trying to get in touch with the folks that I work with Crypto Lines as well, and so I know we are trying to get some integrations going. I think we're actually I know the Crypto Lines team is working on a whole nother Cola Block 2.0. So hopefully we have Wombat integration there, and if we haven't already got that in the works, so yeah, I'm thankful for Wombat and the other builders in the space that are helping to onboard new people. So
thanks,
help move this whole thing forward.
I have another question regarding prospectors. So how many of those lands are there? How many of those NFTs?
Oh yeah, this grand land is huge. So it's like, I think there's like 10,000 plots, or maybe just over 10,000, and I think the other lands were like geez, I'd know do the math. Either way, it's like several magnitudes larger. They might be like, they're either 2,500 or 5,000 or something like that. But the new land is like an order of magnitude large. It's huge. It's like a whole square that goes around. So there's like, it's broken into these squares, these regions of like plots that are there's literally like 9 of them. So it's almost like northeast, east, southeast. It goes all the way around, and then there's like a center plot that we're calling Goldshire. So yeah, there's a lot. But yeah, go ahead. Did you have were you asking about?
Yeah, I have 1,000 questions, and I just realized that I cut Jimmy off with his great
No, that's cool. It's good. I do one of these a lot. So yeah, go for it. I'm interested
where are those? Where can I get those? Because you got me hyped up about Grandland.
Yeah,
so
they're still available. I can, you know, I should actually, I don't know if it's possible to drop a link in the chat, but so there's the actual site to get the land is like we built our own portal because so one thing that we did that was totally different was and you know drove value back to the long-term holders was we made the land sale. Well, we did an initial sale in Wax, which of course sold out, but then we made the sale be in PGL tokens. So over the last few months, as the this or last month or however long we put these land plots up for sale, and they're not sold out yet. So it's because there's literally like more like basically you need to go actually get PGL. So for anybody who's been playing and who has PGL stacked up, you basically could essentially get free plots in the new land just by using your PGL. But for anyone who doesn't have it, you have to actually go and swap for some PGL like on Alcor or something. So the PGL tokens, of course, over the last like month or something have I don't even know what the price is, but it's gone up huge, right? And so I think that's just an important thing to think about, because of course it's been 2 years, I think, since PGL was at its all-time high, right? Since we first launched, I think on EOS, PGL was like at 20 something cents or whatever it was. It was really valuable at one point. And so when the game had first launched on EOS, like it was like, and it's funny because it was like literally the original play to earn game in EOSIO. There was gambling dApps and then there was prospectors, right? And it was like, and I remember at the time, and it was kind of unheard of, but like people were kind of like bragging, like, oh, I'm literally my guys are literally making $20 an hour, and that's more than I make in real life, and it was kind of the first time you were seeing this sort of dynamic play out where people were like, and now it's like so commonplace. People are like, yeah, I live in the metaverse and I make all my money. I whatever. People are making obscene amounts of money, right? But at the time, like 2 years ago, it really was just becoming a thing where there was a real in-game economy that actually worked, and that you could actually hire workers to work for you or go get hired as a worker and be making money. Anyway, I digress. So now we're back full circle where, of course, the token had gone, if you zoom all the way onto the chart, the token had gone all the way to the bottom and it grinded on the bottom for like a year. And then now, of course, because they created this huge utility for the token again, because of this sale, you now saw the token go all the way back up and it's now past the all-time high again. So it's just like this gigantic cup that it's formed, and not that like, whatever, not financial advice, whatever. But the point is if you actually held and played the game and just sat on the token instead of selling it at the bottom, you now find yourself holding this token that A, has value, and B, you now have a ticket to basically get into this new land, and maybe you get a gold plot, which you now have this huge amount of value locked in the ground on your plot, or whatever type of plot you have. But the point being is, it's just like, it's kind of a lesson in like, it's like, I just think it kind of like, just to give credit where credit's due to the Weekend team, like, they had this vision. It's taken 2 years to play out. This game has been literally designed. They started building this in like 2016. Like, it's really a relic of a time when like an idea of like, hey, we could build this game. At the time, EOSIO didn't even exist, and there was no way that this game could have existed on Ethereum. And the team literally was like, okay, we have this idea for this gold. They conceived this whole conceptual map of like, we could put gold in the ground and design this whole economy. It took years really of design and thought to build this economy and have it be balanced. And the technology didn't even exist at the time. And of course, the idea at that time, and back in 2016, 2017, of like having this entire game where every action is on chain is like, was kind of like, and no one had ever really done it. And now no one really ever probably will do it again. It's kind of like, does it really need to be all on chain? But the fact that it exists and that you're able to, every single action, every single tool you take out of your backpack, you can look on chain and see that action happened, right? So it's entirely provable from day one, every single action that's ever happened in the game. And that in itself is kind of revolutionary. But I guess the point that I just kind of wanted to make was that, like, they have this plan and it's taken years in the making. And now that it's finally come to fruition and they have this grand land and it's the final, like, after 4 iterations of different experiments and trying to change the parameters and dial it in, you really see that now the people who played it earlier, or the people who held the token, really are getting that value back. They really actually, it was like, even funny to say it was actually a legit event. If you actually just played the game and held on to those tokens, it was actually a good investment because the token's like 30x or something, but regardless.
I gotta check my liquidity pool on DeFi Box, because I'm not sure whether I was the one actually creating it, but I was definitely one of the first 5 people providing liquidity for PGL on DeFi Box back then.
Man. Yeah, so actually I see a question come in here, which I didn't even know people could ask questions in here, but that's kind of cool. Is there going to be a way to bring goods and workers from Wild West or Yukon? Yeah, dude, there is. It's eventually going to connect to both of the legacy worlds via a railroad, just like we built in like some of the other lands. Like eventually there's like a railroad, and that allows actually the people who are playing the game can help build the railroad, and you earn state shares. They call them PSS. It's a separate token. And so when you own that token, you actually get, it's kind of like a DeFi aspect. You're actually entitled to the fees that people are paying to use the railroad like forever. So if you hold those shares, you're actually part owner of the railroad, which is kind of like a cross-chain bridge to get fungible tokens from EOS or Yukon or Wild West, EOS or the Wax legacy worlds will go to the Grand Land. So it'll take a while for that railroad to get built, because as people know, the railroad's a pretty like hefty endeavor. It uses a lot of materials and resources. And so, yeah, it's just like another thing that eventually when the land gets more developed that people will be able to take part in. You could help build the railroad. You bring your materials or you bring your workers, and by like helping build the bridge to these legacy worlds, you're entitled to some of the funds. And you got to remember, if this land is like built to last for years and years and years, like over the course of those years, those fees add up. Like you're collecting money, so it's like a passive and not an additional passive income play to the game.
And honestly, that's actually my favorite aspect. Like, there's a lot of cool aspects about prospectors, but that's by far my favorite one, because it could have just been designed where it's like, oh yeah, like you deposit this into this contract, we take it out of your account, and then we'll put it back in over here. But no, that's not what they did. What they did was they designed this whole like gamification mechanic around it, right? And first you have to build it. That's the cool thing about the Boomtown, because like you go in there, and if you don't have that communal aspect where you're working together, the whole thing can die and nobody gets anything out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's really...
that was an interesting thing with the Boomtowns. It really was us versus, it was the players versus the game, which is cool and all, but it was an experiment, and those PSS shares count in the game and whatever. But yeah, this is an entirely different game where now instead of it being like a race against the clock or whatever, it's truly like whoever wants to help build the railroad, it's like you're going to get to collect the spoils of those fees and be in on basically forever passive income.
Yeah, I think you said a couple weeks yet, right? Like,
yeah, so it's actually launching, like it's the 17th today, so it actually launches in like a week. It's coming up really soon. So someone asked, are we able to go to Grand Land yet? No, it's like it's the 25th. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8 days from now.
Cool.
And obviously, like, you'll be able to port right from Wombat into there as well for new users.
I'm gonna try to drop the link, and I totally forgot that, because I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't.
Just one more, Bones, on prospectors, because we got to talk about our planet a bit as well. At least for me. So the PGL are the same. Like the gold is linked to the same PGL as the other gold in the other lands, right?
Absolutely. All the gold in all the lands are all part of the same PGL. There was one min. It's essentially deflationary because it gets burned every time you're paying in the game. Some of it's going to the state fund, some of it's getting burned. This is kind of the last hurrah, because I think they basically took the gold, the PGL tokens that exist are now all gold, and they're all in the land. So from here on out, the token's essentially kind of like deflationary, because it's inflationary because it's coming out of the ground, but then as it's being spent and used in the economy, it's getting burned. So it's kind of like gold in real life. Like there's a rate that's come out of the ground, but except for in real life, gold can never be destroyed, and in the game, it can be destroyed. So
and in real life, like in the game, you can't create more from like mining it on the moon, or more on paper. So it might be better than gold in real life. That's fun.
It kind of is. In real life, you're not burnt. There's no mechanic that's just burning gold. So it's
awesome.
It's funny because actually people say like gold can't be destroyed, but and I, in my mind, I'm always like, well, that's actually because like as a glass blower, so like we use I can't even imagine how much gold I've melted in my life, but we used to buy the gold coins, and I would wreck, you take them apart. You take like wire cutters, and I break them into little pieces, and then you melt a glass rod, you melt the gold to it, and then you put the gold in the flame, and you literally dissolve it into the air, and it collects on the glass. And like if you've ever used a glass pipe that's color changing, I don't know if you guys are or smokers or whatever, but like you use a pipe and it actually changes color and it has all those cool like colors in the inside. So that's actually from gold and silver. So you actually, and I mean, of course that gold still exists, but some of it's literally like completely dissipated. So it is possible to kind of like take gold and completely evaporate it, because I've done it like all throughout my last
Bonds, the gold burning prospector.
You're in the right place with prospectors for sure.
Side note. That was a side note there. But yeah.
Yeah, Adrian, you wanted to ask about our planet. Go for it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, man.
So what are the plans for our planet?
So yeah, we just like, we just sort of, so it was supposed to be Q4 was supposed to be like the initial alpha of the actual Conquest game. We had to push it back. It's like the alpha now will be out sometime in Q1, definitely before the end of Q1. It's going to be released as a mobile and then probably also as a browser game, but there will be a mobile version of it. I've seen some of the gameplay. It's actually awesome. There's a whole map, and obviously the Conquest game it's now evolved too from the original concept into like, it's way more complicated too, which is another reason why it had to be pushed back. Like there's like so many mechanics now. There's so many buildings. Like this plot that you have has the spaces for like 20 buildings, and all these buildings all do something different. And it's going to be actually really cool. It's like, it's a Conquest style game. It's kind of like Travian, if anybody's familiar with the game Travian.
Oh yeah. I got banned from Travian
really?
years back. That I hated it because I had spent money and they just banned me. Because of multi-accounting. I was just traveling with my brother, but both of us were playing it through the same Wi-Fi hotspot. And so they banned us, both of us, for multi-accounting. I hated their ass.
So yeah, the game.
That's been 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, the game is obviously in full swing development. They've literally hired more developers to be working specifically on just the gameplay and the graphics. There's obviously the lands that people already have that are producing minerals. The minerals will actually be used to build these buildings and build the robots that you're fighting with. I've shown it a lot on some of the streams I've done, where there's like all these different types of robots, and they all have different abilities and like mechanics of the game. Some are spies, some are infantry, some specifically are used to break down the walls that people have built around their break down fortifications. And so yeah, it's pretty involved. If you're into that type of like Conquest style game, it's going to be a really good game. And of course, really good games like take time to build. So yeah, the alpha will be in Q1, so a few months away. So there's it's a little bit of a lull now, and of course there's not much to do, but of course the first phase, which was like the alchemy game, which is still going. They changed some mechanics now, so it's like this like sort of lottery system. You kind of like, so there's a lot of inflation. There's a lot of the Aether tokens. The Aether token is now like gone down. People are basically like, we're using it to play poker at this point, or basically gamble on creating elements. But those tokens also, like, I'll just point out, like, we announced that, so there is going to be a DAO. It's always kind of part of the plan that there's going to be a DAO, right? And so there's a DAO token, and obviously those tokens are going to be sold for a Aether token. So it's like, I can already see it now. It's like people are going to want to take part in governance, and people are going to want to like be part of like the game when the game actually launches. It's always this way in crypto, right? Like when they're in 6 months from now, when there's an awesome game, people are going to have, wish that they maybe had some of those tokens so that they could be involved in it. And then you can imagine, just like we were talking about prospectors, right? It's like eventually there's going to be a sale, and there's going to be a bunch of utility for Aether tokens, and you're going to need them if you want to be involved in the governance or be like profit sharing or doing all these things. And if you want to buy those tokens, you're going to need the Aether. So the people that are dumping now at the bottom are maybe going to be buying them back, or wishing that maybe they had more of those DAO tokens. But it's like for people who have faith in the game, or have vision, or see the vision that the team is building, then maybe they'll hold on to those tokens. But yeah, there's a lot of plans for the Aether tokens, just like there was we told people for years that there was going to be a plan for the PGL token, and then it was going to have use at some point. And so Daniel says, apart from the remaining elements, what's the plan to keep Aether burning until the game launch? Yeah, that's a good question. That's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. And so if it was up to me too, so a lot of people are talking about the DAO token and being able to vote on things, and people keep talking about like, yeah, I think the first thing we should vote on is like totally killing the Aether inflation. And I'm all for that. And I think that's a great like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
if we all have these opinions on the tokenomics, like, yeah, once we have these DAO tokens, right, and Aether becomes, there's always going to be a use case because we're going to be able to build these robots, right? But it's like, what if, you know, we all vote as a community and say, hey, there's obviously way too much Aether coming out for the use case. Let's vote on, you know, making the Aether inflation cut by 90%, like whatever it is. We could make it scarce. We could actually say, let's cut the inflation and totally start burning all of it and make it super deflationary and make it so that like, if you want to play the game, you need these tokens. And then basically like, eventually they'll start going up in value crazy. Like, it's up to us. And that's what's kind of cool about this whole DAO feature. Like the game really, the team really is wanting to kind of like, hey, turn it over, you know, once this game is launched, like really let the community start shaping how it goes moving forward. And you know, anybody who's been part of a DAO and who's actually actively got to shape things. I know Jimmy, we worked together on a DAC a while ago, and you know, it's you know, it's fun as a community to be able to shape the direction of things. And so yeah, I expect some fun things to come, like maybe in, you know, in a bunch of months from now when the game actually starts coming out and moving forward, and the DAO starts taking shape, and the Aether token has like all these use cases all of a sudden, which we've been telling people for the last year that it was of course going to be, but you know, you have to be able to like see the vision.
Yeah, it's the fast mind of
yeah, like
of
tomorrow, like every day, when that.
I like this. Red Panda says, I used to back NFTs with PGL back in the day. That's pretty fun. I think this one might be for you. Will you always need to use Google to log in? Ken Bozak said, you must change passwords every week if you log in with Google.
I don't have to change my password every week.
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe if Ken meant you should change your password. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
You should probably use 2FA for your Google account.
Definitely.
That is like that's important. You don't have to change your password
and definitely use 2FA that's not connected to the device that you like log in with, right? Like, so a lot of people they'll log it, they'll use their Google account and then they'll use the 2FA on their Google account, right? Well, if someone hacks your Google account, then obviously they have your 2FA as well, right? Like, put that 2FA on a separate device, you know, that isn't connected to your Google account.
There's probably two things to that. I mean, you're totally right, but it already helps to have 2FA enabled because nobody else from the outside can come in without having your device, right? So it already helps in any case. So it's better to have 2FA on the same device than not have 2FA at all. But having 2FA on a different device would definitely be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you do 2FA, Red Panda, then there shouldn't be a problem. I mean, in general, your question is probably pointing to something else, right? So if we're ever going to enable people to not have to log in with Google, I mean, obviously you can use Twitter or Apple or Facebook, but that's probably still not helping you. So we don't have any short-term plans to kind of get rid of social login altogether, because it makes things so much easier, right? If we do allow like random emails, there's a lot of things that make it more complex. If we don't do any login, that makes it even more complex. Like for us, like with all these free resources, free accounts, and these kinds of things, that's incredibly hard to put into a great UX if you don't have this kind of little bit of security through a social login, right? That makes things much simpler going forward. So we do not have like short-term plans. We have been discussing that. We actually are discussing that every other month. Like when that, right? But it's the same as with bonds, right? You have this many things, and you have to prioritize really hard because you only have like this small team, these few people working on everything. But there's so many kind of opportunities and so many aspects and so many questions and so many requests out there that people want, that it's really hard to kind of get everything in at the same time. So no, we do not have plans of removing that anytime soon. There might be kind of a mode And that's kind of the closest to what you're asking. Yeah, like most likely if we start doing it, we'll add a mode where you can use Wombat without logging in at all, right? Then you will have to take care of your backups yourself, and you might be able to kind of buy your EOS account, but that's just a totally different user experience, and we've never kind of wanted this to turn all of this around, right? To have accounts prepaid. We actually never wanted to do that.
I remember back in the day where you guys got not very much, but a little bit of flack. You guys got a little bit of flack. It's like, hey, yeah, social logins, that's not safe. That doesn't work. When are you going to do it like Scatter? When are you going to do it like these other blockchains? When are you going to? And I remember like your stance was like, maybe never, because that's not what we want to do. Like what we want to do is provide easy onboarding access, and we support those projects. If you want that full, like, authority, then go use them. Don't use us. I remember, like, right. And I think it's going to be really important going forward, because let's face it, the majority of people, they're not going to want to manage their own stuff. They're not going to want to like have to like download 10 different wallets for 10 different games for 10 different projects, right? Like,
and you gotta see, right? So for us, many people are actually coming in through OnePlay. They're seeing Wombat for the first time, and once they've earned their first crypto or their first NFTs OnePlay, right? And these are like typically first-time blockchain users, and like telling them, hey, yeah, here's your kind of recovery phrase, or please back up your private key yourself and write it down, but don't write it down. Don't print it because it might be insecure. So write it down and store it in a safe, but do it in 2 places so you have duplicate, right? Like, how do you tell somebody to keep their private keys safe?
Right. Yeah.
So that they don't sue you or don't hit you on your head later on for telling them something that was stupid, right? So that is that's bad, right?
So we talked about this yesterday on the show a little bit. Like, it's kind of user choice, but maybe Bonds, you can take this one because you know a little bit more about it. I unstaked from Blue Deck because it says 1 day left. Is there going to be a different round of tokens? I did not get 250 Blue Deck, so I don't know if I should have left the tokens alone. There is a 3-day waiting period, but Bonds, I think you can give a better answer than me on this one.
I have no idea, dude.
Okay, I'll answer it then. Okay.
I was half paying attention because I wanted to get this in because I said that I would, and I didn't want to forget that I wanted to drop the link to the actual stats. I dropped in the private chat. That didn't help. So
no, I'll drop it for you. No problem. Okay. That's great.
So yeah, and I just posted it in the prospectors Telegram. That's for the that's the actual land sale that you can just still buy plots for PGL. There's also an auction going on, so I know it's a little bit confusing because we're actually auctioning off plots that are like in the center of the map, and of course people are like kind of paying a premium because they want to be toward the center. But guys, like, I just want to kind of reiterate to everybody, like, you don't need to be toward the center. All the plots could have gold. All the plots are going to have some value, and so you don't need to be near the center, although people like to be, because whatever you have, obviously the free there's like free storage for all players. Even if you don't own a plot, you can still store stuff at the at like some of the central location. So people like to be close to the center. I get that too. So people, if you want to, people are taking part in the auction. But yeah, there's still like regular land available for PGL. So check out that link or jump in the our planet. I mean the prospectors Telegram, and you can find that link there. Or if Jimmy's able to share it in this chat too.
I just put it out, and I can answer this a little bit, Red Panda, like from an unofficial capacity. But I think what Corey mentioned last night on the stream was that there is a 3-day unstaking period for Blue Deck pair tokens, and basically the next thing will go live right away. So you're gonna kind of have to self-manage and decide on your own. Do you want to unstake, now? Do you want to unstake at the end? Like, where's your best gains going to be? Like, I'm playing the game again from an unofficial capacity, I unstaked a little bit yesterday and unstaked a little bit the day before, and I let a bunch of it ride. I'll probably let like some of it ride till the end. But yeah, it's totally up to you.
So yeah, I'll just add on that one little bit, dude, because there's one thing and I'm not sure if they got this added onto the website or not, but they like, so somebody, because I saw somebody saying basically like it's kind of like with like unstaking for like CPU or something like this. Like if you unstake and then say you want to unstake a portion like of one, and then you unstake again like 2 days later, you essentially reset the clock. So like, and of course that's not ideal. I imagine it's probably difficult for the contract for you to be like taking some portion in the contract to know which portion that you're again taking more portion. But the contract as it exists now basically will reset the 3-day period. So people should know that, because like I saw somebody kind of like complaining like, what happened? I waited 2 days. I tried to take out more and now it looks like it's reset. So just be like wary of that. Just take note that like unstake once, know how much you want to unstake, and then wait the 3 days for it to unstake before you try to unstake anymore, or else you'll actually reset the clock. I did another little piece of information is I did find out from Corey that like if you do nothing, then that's like doing nothing. Doing nothing.
Yeah, doing nothing is nothing.
It literally equals nothing, right? Like the coins will sit there, they're safe, and you'll earn nothing, but you don't have to do anything. Because that's what I was saying too. I was like, do I have to?
Yeah, I asked that.
Maybe I want to. Maybe I just want to do nothing. Like, and Corey's like, yeah, that's fine. Then they're just doing nothing. So like that's cool too. Like you don't have to do something. You don't have to like take an action right now in order to you don't to make it into the next pool. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw out those two facts out there. But yeah, even I need to learn about the new pool starting up. I know there's like some additional there was like those pools being added. There's a whole list of them. It's pretty cool that some of these projects were able to get enough liquidity and they got their tokens added, which is awesome.
I'm not sure what you mean about this charge. Maybe you can, but Bonds might understand.
Yeah. So yeah, there was where is it disclosed on the BlueDAX site that there's a charge now? It might not be disclosed. I don't know if it is or not, but we voted for it in the BlueDAX Discord. So everybody who has a membership, and this is a good thing to point out too, like if you have a membership token or a membership card like NFT, make sure that you are taking part in the vote. So until the actual DAX software gets built, we're just kind of informally using Discord for now. And so we have a members only section in the Discord. We've enabled that by you have to go claim a sticker. We worked with Maxi Labs to bring this function to you guys. So it's actually really cool. So you can go for, obviously if you hold a BlueDAC membership card, all you have to do is click the link. You'll be able to claim this sticker for free. And that sticker also now allows you to you're now kind of like a Maxi Lab holder of his membership, which can actually be upgraded. He sells like he has a gold membership, and he has a whole suite of things happening on his Discord as well, which is actually really cool. But there's actually some cool little features now that comes with that. So like not only do you get into there's now a membership chat for members only. There's also like a voting chat that only members can see. But there's also like you can go into the lab and you can like hit mine, and then you're like getting these like maxi tokens, so you can like theoretically like be earning. There's all sorts of NFTs that are available on the shop there, including BlueDAC memberships. So like if you're just in there grinding out and you want to like earn NFTs just by coming and hanging out, you can do that. Mine. There's also like some other cool functions he's working on. I just saw. But yeah, to answer the question that dude that you're asking, guy, there if there isn't, you're exactly right. There probably should be. As soon as that fee is implemented, there should be some sort of text added to the site if there isn't already.
Yeah, and I actually meant to bring this up to you guys too, but I totally forgot it. The other thing that needs to be added to that site is I don't think the Discord link is actually on there. I think there needs to be a link to the Discord that definitely needs to be on there.
Yeah, that's one of the things. There's like a whole list of things that like slipped through practice. Like from the time we got that Discord, I actually was going to make a tweet about it, and I didn't have access to the Twitter at that point. So like, yeah, there's a lot of things. I'm actually making note of that, Jimmy. You're totally right. There should not only be like the link to the Discord, but we should be telling people about the fact that the voting is live, that they can go claim that, so that's all in the announcement channel of the Discord, but there needs to be a link to the Discord. So thanks for reminding me of that, bro.
How do people actually keep up with all of that? I mean, it's hard for me being in this space.
Great question, man. It's actually there's so much going on, right? And as we all know, we're so busy and with multiple things going on, with multiple projects, it's like just trying to follow along, just keeping track of everything. And that's exactly why things like that fell through the crack. Like I meant to have those links. I don't even think we actually got the Discord link added to the site yet, or to the Twitter. So it's like,
well, if you drop that in the private chat, we can drop it in the comments here too, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah. We're gonna have to wrap up soon because I got another call in a few minutes. But definitely, great to have you guys here. There was tons to talk about, like even just on this stream, Wombat, prospectors, our planet, Blue Tech. There's been tons of stuff going on. So is there anything that you want to wrap up with this, Adrian? I want you to come back often. I want to kind of follow this WAXpedition through a variety. I like how this actually worked out, having Bonds on here so that we could spend some time focused on prospectors and on our planet. So if you're down for it, Adrian, maybe like in a week or two, we can bring some of these other project managers or project people from some of these other WAXpedition projects on together with you, and we can come on and we can do this again if you're cool.
Definitely. One thing that I need to mention, so that I think counts for Wombat users who have been on Wombat earlier than 1st of November or something. So the Blue DAC promo is still on, right, until today. So all you need to do is just, like, if you're a Wombat user already and you've been a Wombat user before 1st of November, just create your Wax account and do one transaction on Alcor, like a swap, like whatever number, whatever amount, right? For Blue, and then you'll get $5 worth of Blue tomorrow. Yeah, it's very, very simple, right?
Wow, that's awesome.
Go ahead and try it out. And I definitely will have to go check out the Grand Land drop for prospectors, all the stuff that's going on for our planet, and all the Blue DAC stuff, because I've been mining Blue from the first day, but I didn't even realize that voting's on. So, there's a lot. I'm lagging behind. Been busy. I got to say that. So hope to see you soon, Bonds, because
yeah, man, it was great to meet you, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I hope to see you over in the prospectors land. Maybe we'll end up on an alliance together or something.
Totally
see everyone around.
Totally buying one of these lands now.
Awesome, man. Yeah, well, you said you have that liquidity still sitting in some old pool. You probably have a bunch of PGL sitting somewhere that you didn't even know you had. So I would put that to use, because this is the time.
I think I'll have to bridge it over to Wax first. But
yeah. I got to remember where I put my lands. I put them somewhere.
Yeah, I had to go dig out my old accounts and dust them off. I had some
where did I put them? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the problem. My brother got into crypto a couple of months ago, like really, really late, right? And he's been asking me, like, how do you keep track of everything? And I'm like, you don't. You just don't. There's just too many things that you have.
Right.
Yeah, more, and actually the fees are getting burned. Some of the fees are getting burned, and some of them, yeah, like actually it's all spelled out. There's check out the announcement that Corey made. He kind of broke down the structure for those fees. But yeah, it's going to drive utility to the token, which of course is just the first step to driving utility to that Blue token. There's obviously a lot of plans coming, but like obviously the token needs utility, or else there's no reason for anyone to hold it. And the first step is just making sure that people need to have some to be able to take advantage of all these pools and whatever. And so, but yeah, like all the fees that people are paying, yes, I think it's something like 25% get burned. But I think Corey also said too, it's like in all this stuff, you got to remember, guys, it's like I think the Blue DAC is moving towards, there is a date where the whole thing will be completely run by the DAC. For now, we're trying to start to implement like the community voting and stuff. And so, yeah, if the community decides in a month or two, hey, we should actually be burning more of these, let's start burning more of these tokens, then yeah, like let's put it up for a proposal, let's vote for it, let's start burning. I'm all for burning tokens. I don't know. I'm really into like deflating supplies of tokens. So like anytime anything comes up where anybody's talking about burning tokens, I'm always like, hell yeah, let's start burning tokens, because
somebody needs to create a gold token that Bonds can just burn.
Yeah, so no, I had all these ideas. It was actually like I was really pushing for like a game where the whole idea is we just literally like you just log in and there's like a big volcano or something. You make like a sacrifice, right? Like it's like sacrificing that, you throw it into the volcano and you can just like burn stuff. So it's just like, but make a game out of it. Like gamify, just like burning assets. And so like you have NFTs that you just like really don't like. People airdrop you NFTs. You could go log on and play this game and throw them into the volcano and make like a whole game out of burning assets. I think would be kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah. So just a couple of things from me that I'd like to shout out. So if you're available, if you're around in about 10 minutes, hop on over to the Jenner EOS channel. I'll put the link in below. I'm going to have Daniel Keys on the Gen Pool Spotlight. It's another show that I do over with Jenner EOS, and we're going to be talking about Pomelo. Also, from tomorrow, Jenner EOS, we're going to kick off a new show called Pomelo Pitch Deck, where we're going to try to have 15 to 20 minute spots of some of these projects that are trying to get some of this Pomelo funding over on EOS, and they'll be coming on over to the Jenner EOS channel and basically giving us the rundown. So if any of you are out there who have proposals on Pomelo and you want to come on to the Pomelo pitch deck, come join me over on the Jenner EOS channel for a pitch deck sometime in the next week or two. And throw out what you're doing to the community. They're going to be super short. Like usually we run for an hour or an hour and a half or whatever. With Jimmy, it could be 2 hours. But these ones over there are designed just to be a straightforward one-on-one pitch so that you guys can get, the word from, the team directly about what you might be supporting with your quadratic funding donations to the platform. So, yeah.
I totally forgot about that. We actually put up our proposal yesterday.
Nice.
So whoever is interested, go over to pomelo.io and support us. Would be great, obviously. But in general, Pomelo is pretty great. So I've been talking to Daniel and Denise last week, I believe, or a few weeks back, and it's pretty amazing what they've done and how much kind of how much activity that has spawned within the EOS ecosystem. That's actually pretty cool.
Well, yeah, definitely go check out the Crypto Rider Roundtable we did last night, where we talked about a bunch of EOS funding. Like that was just a roundtable of all stars. Daniel Keys was there, obviously, but we had. We had Luke Stokes there. Janie Moore was there, like a bunch of OGs from the EOS space. So, and definitely worth watching. It got pretty heated a little bit, but it was pretty good. It was really enjoyable. So yeah, Adrian, please come over next week on the Jenner EOS channel, and we'll give people a rundown of your proposal. Bonds, I'm not sure if you guys have got one up, but if you do, you're welcome to come over there and drop it as well. But yeah, I think there's 15 days left now, so there's still a little bit of time.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
I think this is the first. They're going to do one every quarter, as far as I understand it. So if you don't get it in this time, you can maybe get it in next time. That's what she said, and we'll see you guys all. We'll see you guys all on the flip side. Thanks for joining us.